The big mobile Terraria news came out recently in the September State of the Game post. If you haven't seen my video covering all of the major information brought by that announcement, feel free to check it out. I'll link to it in the video description. But there is more. More that you may not have seen unless you've been sneaking around the Terraria Discord chat, like I have. Suffice it to say, it's a nice little extra bit of insight provided by Relogic's Loki. Including this. I'm going to start off strong with this video, video that he shared on Discord. It features, obviously, the menu system for Mobile 1.4. And notice the option for the bestiary and of course the journey mode options. It looks different from the PC version. Of course, that's no great surprise. A lot of stuff looks different from the PC version by necessity. Looks pretty easy to use, doesn't it? I suppose they might be tweaking the config around until the last minute, but whatever the case may be, it does look functional and easy to use. It really doesn't seem that long ago that mobile users were suffering through Terraria 1.2. Weird, right? So much more content for the mobile version now. At least close to now, anyway. It's absolutely mind-boggling. But enough about me rambling. Let's cut to the Q&A that was going on thanks to Loki and the ever-curious Discord Terrarians. Loki wrote, "I'm shocked no one has picked up on the other little details, but I'll let our video speculators sort that out. There's at least one that I don't think we showed before." What did we miss in the State of the Game post? There have to be a few eagle eyes out there, so if you're one of them, post a comment if you spotted something. I have a hard time remembering exactly what's been revealed at this point and what hasn't. And quite frankly, I'm not that familiar with pets and decorative items either. Oh well. Anyway, there were a few topics covered by Loki, so I'm going to actually break them down by platform this time. Plus, it lets me use my fancy new headline graphics. So without further ado, let's start with the console version of Terraria. Talking about that, Loki wrote, "Again, lots of work to still do to hit all the marks the team wants to hit, but 100% playable, at least at this point. I mean, I shot that video myself yesterday, but it does need some stuff, etc. It will all be worth it in the end, but I didn't want you all having nothing. But I also don't want folks assuming it's almost done or here either." So he's trying to temper our expectations, but still throw us a bone. Rather fair of him, don't you think? Lespooky Anid wrote, "I think it might be either Thanksgiving or mid-December," speculating about the console release of 1.4, and to that Loki wrote, "Well, I don't want to cut anything short, and there are things to still do, and then you want to optimize, and then you want to bug fix, and then you want to test all sorts of multiplayer variations. So they're not going to commit to anything. It would be nice if we got this by Christmas for console Terrarians, but, just take it when it comes, I suppose." And in that spirit, Spooky Anid wrote, "Not gonna lie, Loki, I'd rather wait for a year for it to be perfected, plus the longer time it takes, the much better it'll be for the wait." Very philosophical of you. And to that, Loki wrote, "Review this as a chance to do some things besides just content. Why not tune up things in the process? But we have an eye towards also supporting the legacy in current ways, don't worry." Tony0208 wrote, "Stupid question, but will Terraria be on Xbox Series X?" Loki's response, "I assume it will be, as a backwards compatible Xbox One at the very least, but I don't know any more than that." Anyway, that was it for console chat. And then briefly regarding the PC version of Terraria's development, the Frost staff wrote, "I thought that was going to be the last update to the game," referring of course to 1.4.1, and to that Line Force wrote, "I'm sure there will be at least a 1.4.1.1, that's almost a given, but I don't strictly know what the last hotfix will be. It'll be as many as we decide to do." Well, it's good that they're not automatically closing the book on things, but if they do, that's what mods are for. Arcanum wrote, Loki, this is unrelated to mobile, but will resolution issues on 1.4 for Mac be fixed? Loki's answer, fixed in 1.4.1, but said fix has not yet been tested, so we will see. Now, the Mac version, of course, doesn't really count as PC news, but frankly, I didn't know where else to put it, so I've put it here. But moving along to mobile news now, there was more to talk about on that front. Chrysler wrote, now NRLP is definitely lurking. Yep. Pinhead Pat wrote, the boss bar looks clean under the health bar. Loki's answer, lots of iterations on that boss bar, lol. He followed up with, focusing on gamepad at the moment, lots of iterations there, but those will pay off for console and Switch down the line. Well, that's good if there's some translation of effort on that front to console version. Neo Fox wrote, Loki, do you think we'll get texture packs? The answer, doubtful at launch, mainly because of OS first-party restrictions. Texture packs, mods, all that stuff is a whole other section of complications. I'm sure we will take a look at some point, but the focus has to be on the core game content first. So at best, not at launch. At worst, we get blocked and just can't do it. Adayo-kun wrote, Loki, do the specifics of Terraria Mobile increase? I guess they meant to type, do the specs of Terraria Mobile increase with things like flying leaves and thunderstorms. Loki's answer, I think the plan is to keep the specs the same, but we will see. But yeah, massive thunder, snow, and stuff stresses the system just like other things. One thing I love that DR has done is allow for so many options and settings in the menus for graphics, etc. Deancy, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Deancy wrote, does Loki talk often? Loki was there actually to answer that with, too busy most days, sorry. Hey, I know the feeling. Loki followed up with, Zenith is limited to stick range if you use the stick, but if you use touch, it is limited to the screen. So you folks better be using touch if you want the most out of that super weapon. Anonymic wrote, hey Loki, I know you did just spoil us with a state of the game post, but I was wondering if you knew where the journey settings from a couple builds back are biennial placed if mobile 1.4 even uses journey settings still. That was a little strange, maybe I mistyped that, but Loki's answer is research and development are in inventory duplication. The rest are under settings. In the end, this is the best way. Otherwise, you get really, really cluttered. It is a smaller screen after all. Deancy was back with the simple and straight to the point question, Torch God? The answer was equally simple and straight to the point. Torch God is there. So rest assured there is Torch God. Adayo-kun was also back with, Loki, do you have another mobile spoilers? Loki's answer, in the inventory there's a tools menu under the left side that gets you your rulers, grand design views, and Torch God block swap toggles. So a very technical spoiler, but Adayo-kun, you were answered with at least some form of a spoiler, so thank you, Loki. The Frost staff writes, so are mobile worlds and servers going to match PC? And to that, Loki replied, not at this time. Different versions is still at least one barrier, as PC will be on 1.4.1 in October as well. The upgraded Fancy Pants writes, Loki, will we have Tmod loader? Because Jbro said it was possible if the devs changed the code. Really important question, that, I think. And to that, Loki answered, not yet. Cannot make promises there. That falls to the Tmod loader team. Man, mods for mobile, that would be friggin' amazing. So let's keep our fingers crossed. And I'll wrap up with a familiar name in this episode. Adayo-kun was once again writing, and they wrote, tomorrow I gonna check NRLP YouTube. Oh, that's the spirit. And that's it for now. I'll keep an eye on things, of course, but until then, dream of mobile 1.4 user interface features and more console video spoilers. That's all I can say. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.